Hey everybody, welcome back to Ask a VC. My name is Ryan Floyd, and I'm an early stage SaaS investor with Storm Ventures. In today's episode, we're going to continue talking about advisors, but specifically, we're going to talk about how to compensate those advisors with equity. So let's get into it. Okay, so now we got to think about how to compensate advisors. If you haven't seen my prior video on how to find great advisors and how to think about bringing them on, please take a look at that. One of the important points I make in that video, specifically around compensation, is that advisors, unlike consultants or employees, cash doesn't make as much sense. When you think about the role of an advisor, it's about giving specific thoughts, advice that are based on experience that individual has had, maybe as a founder, maybe as an executive at another company. And unlike a consultant or certainly an employee, where there's specific deliverables that you're measuring and paying against, it's much harder to do that with an advisor. So when I work with companies, I think it makes a lot more sense to be thinking about equity for advisors and no cash compensation. And generally, if you meet an advisor that's looking for cash, really what they're talking about is being a consultant with you. And if you go down that path, really think about what those deliverables are going to be. But enough about consultants. Let's talk about advisors and that equity package and how to think about it. A lot of founders ask me, they don't even know where to start. Do I think about this person as an employee and sort of what I might be able to give them? Do I think about them as a director? And the answer is that I've found that's helpful to start with a framework is to think about, yes, where would you hire this person? If they came on as a CFO, or they came on as a CMO, or they came on as a CEO, what would that equity package sort of look like for this individual? And then begin to work around that as a frame of reference in terms of what you might give them as an advisor. Now, you don't want to give them the equity as though they were joining you full-time, because of course they're not. This is not their full-time job. They're just here to give you advice and to help you from time to time. But you can think about, how often do you think you're going to be calling this person? Is it going to be daily? Is it going to be weekly? Is it going to be monthly? And then really think about, what that means in terms of that whole equity package that you'd be giving them. A simple way to kind of think about it is, if you might bring on, let's just use an example as a VP of sales. My data for an early stage VP of sales is somewhere between 0.5 point and 0.75 point. And that was if you're going to bring them on full time. If this person is going to be sort of the equivalent of a VP of a sales advisor, that's their set of experiences, maybe you can use that as a framework. And maybe you're only going to be really maybe talking to them, maybe once a week, a couple times a month. In that case, maybe you divide by 5 because it's kind of a fifth of the time. So now you're kind of at, maybe 0.1%, something like that. But also realize that 0.1% as compared to a full-time employee would be vesting over 4 years, because that's what you'd be given to someone who came to work with you full-time. My advice for folks that are bringing on advisors is to really think about a shorter time horizon, maybe 2 years, maybe even a year, because your needs as a founder and entrepreneur are going to change over time. And what's more, that advisor's circumstances may also change. They may have the ability to spend a lot of time with you right now, or maybe over the next 6 months, but maybe their own personal situation changes where maybe they take on a new opportunity where they just don't have the time to invest. Lots of things can happen over time. And because they're not an employee or a consultant for that matter who's got deliverables, it can be hard to set long time horizons. So let's use the example of 2 years. So now you've got someone that going back to our VP of sales example, you've got someone that you've brought on as an advisor in sort of a sales advisor capability. Maybe they have experience being a CRO or a VP of sales at a successful company before, and that's the knowledge you're looking to tap into. And you want to rely on them for, a couple of days equivalent a month. Maybe they're going to help you interview sales hires. You feel like that's maybe not a strength of yours. Well, then maybe you're kind of looking at, 0.1% or something like that. That would be vesting over 4 years. So you divide that by 2, and maybe that starts to kind of feel comfortable and in the range. And realize you're going to be giving them another grant. If they stay on with you as an advisor, you'll be giving them another grant maybe in a year or a year and a half's time to sort of extend that, relationship further. The key is that all of these advisors, at least advisors that I've met, none of them are giving you advice in your startup and trying to help you because they're trying to monetize their experience. They're giving you advice because they want you to be successful. They want to give you advice because they want to help you along the journey, because they know that they were successful because so many people helped them along the way. There's almost no examples at least that I can think of where people do this all on their own. It takes a team, it takes advisors, it takes a village to really build these companies. And people that are successful generally want to give back because they know that's how they were successful. So look for these advisors that believe in you and believe in the mission. And what they're looking for in return in terms of that equity is some recognition of the time that they're investing. There's a lot of other things that they're looking for too, which I referenced in the last video. I'm not going to go over it again. But in terms of the actual compensation, that's really not going to be the driving force of why any advisor is going to be spending time with you. And likely, if they're really pushing on comp, it's probably not the advisor for you. And maybe it's more of a consulting relationship that you ought to engage in, where you can be very specific about what those deliverables are going to be if they're looking for a lot more cash and potentially equity compensation. Hey everyone, thanks for listening. Please remember too that your investors ought to be great advisors for you as well. And they're free once they're investors. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments, what else you'd like to hear from me on. And until next time, thanks for watching.